I'm actually going to be joined by Perfion's Customer Success Manager, Jesper Gede, who will be showing you how this new integration we have introduced for the future of Ucommerce and how you can expand the e-commerce capability of the platform. But before we get started, I would like to review a few points. This session is recorded, and after the webinar, it will be posted on our YouTube channel as well. Everyone should hopefully be in listen-only mode. And as you can see in the utility in GoToMeeting, you have the ability to actually ask questions during the webinar. So feel free to do that, and Jesper and I will try to answer them as we go along. Okay, so on today's menu, at least for the next 45 minutes, I have a little bit about why we do the integration. After that, Jesper will take over and he will explain something about Perfion and what they are good at. Then we'll jump into a demo, a live demo of the POC that we have been working on. And after that, we have a bit of a roadmap, and if time allows, we also have some question and answers. All right, I think I'm just gonna turn off my webcam here. No, that's fine. Oops, here we go. Okay, so why did we do this integration with Perfion? Well, it's obviously that PIM is on everyone's lips right now, besides GDPR here in Europe. But for Ucommerce, we already have PIM capabilities, but not in a way that Perfion has. So for us, it was kind of a no-brainer to do this integration with a PIM system, and for this case here, it's with Perfion. And with Perfion, and I'm pretty sure Jesper's going to elaborate on that, they can do so much more. You can work with complex structure of products. You can define your multi-channel setup, and you can expose it to whatever channel you want. So it doesn't have to be only for your e-commerce setup. It could also be for a catalog or something else. And this is completely aligned with the strategy that we are doing. Our mission is to bring content and commerce closer together. And with this integration, we're just making this as a foundation for the Ucommerce platform. And you, as a partner, you can ensure that your customer has high quality on content delivered to the web shop and help build brand and customer loyalty. And as a bonus info, it's no secret that web shops with well-organized and well-optimized product content achieve much higher conversion rates. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. And also for you as partners, we would like you to focus much more on content, strategy, and all that, and make higher conversion rates for a customer instead of spending time and time again on doing integration with various systems. And this is really the reason why we're doing this integration, so we can have something standard in place that you can have as a starting point. Before I hand over the microphone to Jesper, I would like to talk a bit about Ucommerce for those who don't know us. We are a small but still global company. We were founded back in 2009 here in Aarhus. Søren Spelling Lund, who is the founder and still a part of the company, he saw the need for the content and commerce to more merge together. Back then, you typically have your e-commerce system on one side and you have your commerce on the other side, and these two things weren't necessarily linked together. Sorry. Right now we have a headquarters here in Aarhus still, and then we have offices in London, Boston, and recently we opened up down in Sydney. And we've been around the block a couple of times. We have over 3,000 active installations running. And our strategy is to be the market leading platform for content and commerce on .NET. And this slide here really illustrate the journey that we're on. We started back in 2009 with the integration of Umbraco, and right now we are the most mature e-commerce platform on that CMS. Then in 2013 we did the integration with Sitecore, and lately we have done an integration with Kentico. So we are fully aligned and when we're doing an integration with Perfion, you actually as a partner get access to this integration across all the CMSs as well. So one integration with Perfion will affect all the CMSs, and you can leverage that in the platform. It's just up to the CMS. Just a quick platform overview again for those who don't know us. Obviously, we have a catalog, we have a marketing foundation, we have some search, transaction, order management, and all this, and especially the catalog thing is the one we're going to talk about today, because really one of the advantages of Ucommerce is you can have multiple of everything, multiple shops, multiple catalogs, multiple etc., etc. And when you define that in Perfion, you can replicate that over to Ucommerce, and that is really one of the strong thing here. And obviously for all the customers out there, they're not alone. Right now we have certified more than 200 Ucommerce partners. So there's definitely some trust out there, and a lot of partners who can help our customers build more success online. That was the words from me from now. Now I will see if I can make Jesper a presenter here. Let's see how that goes. Where is my mouse? No. Just a second. Jesper.
Yep, I have unmuted myself. And
you should be the presenter now.
I think I am now the presenter, and hope that you can now see my screen. Anders, can you confirm?
That I can, yes, perfect.
All right. Well, thank you, Anders, for inviting me for this webinar. My name is Jesper Gide. I'm Customer Success Manager at Perfion, and I'll tell you a little bit about Perfion today and about taking back control of your product data. I'll keep it short and sweet because I guess what you really want to see is the demo. So I'm only going to talk for a few minutes, and then I'll hand it back to Anders. So let me get started. Just a few words about who we are, the mandatory slide. Well, we're a company with 15 years of PIM experience. We were founded in 2002 as a spin-off of MW Data, which was or is one of the biggest Dynamics AX integrators in Denmark. We currently employ more than 26 experienced PIM specialists, primarily, of course, developers, consultants, and salespeople. We have offices in the Nordics, in the DACH region, in Benelux, and in US. And in the same regions, we have more than 15 Perfion partners. Our install base is currently at 210 plus clients, with, of course, more coming in every month. And finally, we're a 100% standard solution. This means easy upgrades. It means guaranteed backwards compatibility, regardless of configuration and integrations. And it means, of course, low cost of ownership. But it also means that setup and configuration can be done by administrators and or consultants, and assistance from programmers is rarely needed. So a lot of benefits from a 100% standard solution that allows us to have clients that are always on the latest version of Perfion with very little effort needed to stay like that. So, as I mentioned, our install base is currently at 210 plus client. clients. This slide shows a few of them. And of course, if you visit our website at www.perfion.com, you can see more clients, and you can also read case stories from many of our clients. So, what do we provide? Well, we like to call it Perfion Integrated PIM. And why is that? Well, for one, it's because we're the only PIM that is fully integrated within Dynamics ERP. I'll come back to that in a moment. We do, of course, also integrate with other ERPs, but our integration with Dynamics is really one of a kind. But integrated PIM, of course, also means that we offer standard connectors to a lot of different channels. One of them, Ucommerce, but we have connectors to many other channels, making it easy for our customers and our clients to get started with their Perfion PIM solution. So what is the power of integrated PIM? Well, one thing is, of course, what happens in your ERP happens in your PIM. This is no surprise. This is what a PIM is supposed to do. But with Perfion and the Dynamics platform, it can also be vice versa. So what happens in your PIM happens in your ERP. And that is what I meant when I before said that we are fully integrated within Dynamics ERP. With our integration, it's possible not only to sync data from ERP to PIM, but it's also possible to sync data from Perfion PIM to the Dynamics ERP platform. Now, the power of integrated PIM also means that what happens in your PIM, of course, happens in all your channels. Any change you make to product data in PIM is reflected on web, in catalogs, brochures, in apps, and basically all other places where your products are exposed to your customers. So really no limits to how you can manage all your data in one place and syndicate or distribute that data to any channel that you communicate in. And finally, the power of integrated PIM also, and maybe specifically relevant for today's agenda, is that the power of integrated PIM means that what is released in your PIM shows up in your Ucommerce web shop. So all in all, it's full circle between ERP, PIM, and web shop. Fully integrated, more or less plug and play with the standard connectors. Really easy to get started with what we call single source of truth. Manage all your product data in one place and syndicate that and distribute that data to any platform where you communicate with your customers. And keeping my promise of keeping this short and sweet, I think this is all that I wanted to say really about Perfion. I think we will reserve the remaining time for the demo. So Anders, I'll thank you for this opportunity to talk a little bit about Perfion, and I'll hand the presenter role back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Jesper. That was a really nice intro to Perfion, and I'm pretty sure you could go much more into detail if I allowed you to. But we'll keep that in mind. As Jesper mentioned, Perfion is single source of truth, and in this demo, I'll show you our proof of concept and how far we come with the integration so far. Before we jump into the demo, I would like to give a bit of background about the integration. On our side, one of the things that we have been talking about over and over is Uconnector. And Uconnector is a lightweight integration framework which enable integrations like with a PIM system or some other systems. It can handle tasks, error, etc., and it's easy to set up. So we are using the capabilities of Uconnector in our end, and on Perfion's end, we are connecting with their new e-commerce API. And their new e-commerce API is actually a way of accessing data stored in Perfion, and it's tailor-made for e-commerce purposes. So with those two connectors in each end, it's a match made in heaven. But let's try to jump into to the demo here. Whoops. See if I can get it up here. So can everyone see my screen? Maybe you can confirm me, Jesper?
I can confirm I see the Perfion client. Thank you.
Good, good. All good. So first of all, in here we have Perfion, and just to be completely honest, I don't know much about Perfion, but what I know is that in here we have defined some sites, and that is actually what I talked about earlier, that we have this multi-site setup. And over here we have our coffee and tea sales.com, we have lovecoffee.com, and we have cookinggear.com. 3 different sites with multiple categories underneath each. And this is actually, this could be a CMO or something who have defined what sites would we like to be replicated over to a web shop, and they have defined this, they have gone over different sets of flows, and now they're actually ready to import it into the e-commerce system. So in here you can see we have all the products underneath each category, and underneath each product we also have variants, and we have variant prices, etc., etc. So this is kind of the setup. On the other hand, let's see here. Oh, if I can find my, where do we have it? Okay, over here. So here I have my very, very simple Avenue clothing that sells software, which is obviously, I have my tie over here, and I can start to sell that. It's kind of an expensive tie we have here. Anyway, we have installed the connector on this setup here. It's just a an Umbraco site. If I can type right here. Here we go. So in here we have, for those who don't know it, we have our content section where we have a setup of Avenue clothing that you just saw over here. And underneath I had already created a couple of more sites, but I'll get back to that. But if we jump into Ucommerce, right now we can see we only have Avenue clothing exposed in the store section here. And that is not what we are seeing in Perfion right now. So what I want to do, I want to import all the data that I have on Perfion and make sure that it's imported into Ucommerce. Seems like. And just for demo purpose, so you can see what's going on, I have a command line tool here, and just throw this one in so you can actually see what is happening. So let's go ahead and see if we can import some data here. See if I got it started. It's always interesting to do demo on a screen. Okay, it's actually running. It seems like. Let's see here. No. Let's go down just a second, guys. Remote desktop from a Mac computer to a PC. That's what we're facing. Okay, here we go. So I run the importer tool now, so it starts receiving data from Perfion, and it's obviously after some time it will start to import categories, stores, etc., etc. And the last part, it will reset the cache and update the back office. So now it should be imported into to Ucommerce. Let's see here if I can pull this one out just a bit. So let's try to refresh. Here we go. So the tool is done with the import, and if we take Perfion up here so we can see that it has been going on in the background. Oh, there we go. So now we have, besides Avenue clothing, we have coffee and tea sales, And we can go down and we can see we have the same structure down here with all the products and stuff. And as I talked about earlier, I've already created cooking and coffee.local. So now we can go in and I can go down to my store down here. Oh, sorry. And define that one and save it. And then go out and say cookie.local. And go in here and see that everything is imported, images, prices, etc. And I can start to purchase products within here. Easy peasy. And just to make sure that things are working, I can go over to Perfion again, and I can see, okay, this one I maybe need to rename that to coffee and tea. .dk, just a small change here. I go down again to my tool here, and I run it again. Just to see that everything is being imported. Still running in the background, I can see. And the changes have kicked in. So now I've changed this one. Now it has some spaces and it ends on DK. This was just a small change. But I hope you get a feeling of what we can actually do and how we can start to work with product data inside of Perfion. And as soon as we're done with that and we're happy with the product data, we can go over to Ucommerce and we can start importing data. We also put a button up here that could be for next step, that instead of running a task manager, you just press a button and you start to import the data. Okay, that was the, see if I can come back to GoToMeeting here. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Just gonna close this one. Okay. This was the demo and how far we come with the with the POC so far. And just to summarize it, what we can do right now is we can have multiple sites, multiple categories, obviously, multiple products, variants, images, and prices. And I'll get back to what we can do in the future version of the connector as well. Because touching upon roadmap and what we are going to do is we announced the partnership back in February. And since then, we have been working on the POC and get that one up and running and see that data is actually moving from Perfion into Ucommerce. And the next phase is that we would really like to have some beta testers on this one, because without your feedback as partners, it's useless. So please feel free to reach out to either me or Jesper, and we will loop you into this beta testing period that we are going into. And the plan is to, after that, and hopefully it goes well, we will have a level 1 integration. And the level 1 integration would actually delivers what I just showed you. That would be sites, multiple sites, the categories, products, variants, images, and prices. And for the level 2 integration, we will have related products, files, custom fields, because obviously you have probably a lot of custom fields that you want to replicate into Ucommerce as well. But we also want to have as an auto update. So as soon as a field is created in Perfion, we want to replicate that, auto update that in Ucommerce, and that is something that we're looking into as well. And also we want to do incremental updates. So as soon as something is updated in Perfion, instead of doing a complete import of all products, we want to do incremental updates. So that's the plan for the level 2 integration. I see that we still have a bit of time for some Q&A. So if anyone has some questions, feel free to ask in the chat, and we can see if we can answer the questions. Let's see here. What do we got? Besides this, we also have created a small brochure that I would like to hand out to you after the webinar, where you can see a bit more about the integration and what you can expect for it. So within a couple of days, that one will land in your inbox, and you have something more tangible to look at. And obviously, both on Perfion sites and on Ucommerce websites, we will update it with a landing page where we describe more details what you can expect from this integration. So let's see if we have any questions down here. So Henri de Roc, he asked, will the Perfion Uconnector work with Umbraco Ucommerce setup that's running in Umbraco Cloud? My answer to that would be, I think so. But let me get back to that Henri, because right now we are depending on the task running, and how would that run in the cloud? I'm not sure. I'm probably not the right one to answer that question, but I'll let you know. Then we have a question from the sites in Perfion. I guess those are just channels in Perfion. Just gonna mute. Here we go. I guess those are just channels in Perfion. Can you elaborate on that one, Jesper?
Yes, for those of you who know Perfion, the simple answer to this is yes. You set up the site as a channel, a structure in Perfion where you manage the structure, as Anna showed you, and also the assortment that you want to sell in this channel. So the simple answer is yes, it is just a channel in Perfion.
Great, thank you. And Andreas is asking, is Perfion a web-based client or Windows application? I know you got the answer for that one as well, Jesper.
Yes, what you showed is the Windows client, and we've got a web client coming out this spring. So it's in the final testing phase now. So there will be a web client as well. When this connector hits the market, there will also be a web client.
And maybe you can elaborate. Will you have full functionality in the web client as in the Windows application, or will there be some differentiating?
There will be differences. The web client phase 1 will be a client entirely focused on managing product information. So the really simple task is find a product, edit data, and save that data. That is going to be the primary functionality of phase 1, and then of course we're going to build from there, increasing the functionality of the web client as we go along. But the Windows client will still be the client where you manage structures, assortments, channels, all of that stuff for a while.
Yeah, great. Thank you for that. We have another question here. So is it a two-way connection, allow data to go from Ucommerce to Perfion as well? Most have lots of rich data already within Ucommerce. Well, I would say that, as we mentioned earlier, it's that single source of truth. So right now it's only flowing from one way, and that's from Perfion and over to Ucommerce. But on the other hand, if you have something that don't belong in Perfion, you can easily have that on your settings or on your products on Ucommerce. I can see there's no problem in that. But if you have lots of data that you want to have, maybe you want to import that into Perfion, and then you have that one single source of truth. Hope that makes sense. So Stefan is asking, so in a nutshell, you get a connected to all platforms which Ucommerce supports, Sitecore, Kentico, and Braco. Is that the nutshell at all? Yes, it is. So it doesn't have to do anything about the CMSs. It's all about Ucommerce. So the integration is made into Ucommerce. So the connector will work on Kentico, on Braco, and on Sitecore as well. Yes. Any final questions before we round up? Will there be more platforms in the future? Yes, there will. I think we're going to announce a new partnership with our fourth CMS here, maybe in a month or something. I can't say so much more at this time, but there will be one more, and that's it. And then we're going to conclude on our CMS strategy for now, and then we'll start focusing 100% on the core and core capabilities in Ucommerce. So yes, that's it. 4 CMSs, that must be enough for now. Okay, one final question. Otherwise, I've seen we are right on time, despite some small bumps in the. Andreas said he posted one about how is Perfion installed? Cloud, on-premise? I'm also interested in knowing more about the price model for Perfion. That one goes to you, Jesper.
Yeah, I can answer the first part about the installation. I mean, traditionally Perfion is an on-premise installation, but cloud strategy is something in our pipeline. So right now, the most honest and true answer is that it's on-premise. It can of course be installed in private cloud. If you have servers somewhere, virtual servers, you can install it there. But it is technically it's on-premise. Regarding the pricing model, I would suggest that that the person asking this question get in touch with maybe one of our sales guys at the local region.
Yeah, and I can contact you with one, Andreas. I know Kostas here from Denmark. He is also responsible for Sweden, where you're located. So I'll make sure that you two get connected as well. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolutely pleasure, and I'm pretty sure we're going to invite you to another webinar as soon as we have something more to show. But this was the POC and so far, and how far we've come to this stage. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll keep you updated. Thank you so much.
Thank you for me as well.